time they say passes, it does seem like what is true seldom gets around, but what the lies just keep getting repeated and repeated. And I'm not thinking anything I'm special, but it's like a lot of things. Everyone that I mentioned, Devin LaMaggi, Theodore Apophis, even David Icke, and Kurita Mutwa has, I'm saying that's the Zulu story. That's which I'm glad I went back to that. But I knew the first time I saw it, like, hey, we got to remind Mr. Mutwa to never do that again. That was retarded. I would never do that with Russell Means. That's one thing about Russell Means. We would never have to remind him not to eat a dead man's hand, regardless of what he was promised. That's all we're saying with that. And I didn't know it'd be more verified. Like, oh, I didn't know it was gross. Like every time, yeah. No one respects Einstein, whether he cross-dressed or not. He's an idiot lost in his equations, as all the scientists are. They're mathematicians lost in equations, as Tesla has identified. How did we stop respecting Tesla? So that's the thing. Why? No, why would you think you're spinning, Zulu? There was burning a woman. Just one of the things. Well, I'm going to burn this older, like a mother, an older mother, a grandmother or something. And how? No, I'm going to let Trapper House the hyenas let them eat her. That's just one. Everyone's done horrible stuff, but to call that there's no prophet like him. Do you get the bias? It ain't about Africa bias. It's about your own culture. So it is like Devin LaMaggi said, and his other Theodore Apophis and Claudio Nocelli, Nels Confundum. That's where that's where we're supposed to be meeting right now. David Icke, who's the other one? And Seth Fire Messenger. I don't mean to leave him out, but I don't know if rather spit. Just we can't lie to children regardless. And that's the thing. Like, I'd rather have a gun put in my head. As soon as I found out I was in Turtle Island, I haven't stopped here and play. I don't know if he stopped saying Planet yet, but and then like when I tried to go visit this thing, I just heard Planet so many times I thought he was running me off, like specifically. Like, okay. So we keep lie. There's not a stitch of evidence. So there's a slot waiting for you. Anytime you try to be yourself, that's what there's a template, AI and the people, and now it's gotten ridiculous worse with artificial intelligence. It has a template for you to fit into. So no, there's nothing online that, that's the problem. I've exhausted. I'm more than exhausted. You cannot be an individual. You cannot be anything. You have to be a trite template. There's a template you're supposed to fall into no matter what your endeavor, what you're seeking, what you're trying to accomplish. But we can't get around the forever chemicals, guys. No matter what, you're not in the 5D if there's still forever chemicals, and if the Industrial Revolution is continuing. What did I know while I was here when I learned about the Industrial Revolution? Why didn't everyone have the same reaction I did? It made me more indigenous? That's not the point. That was just a natural action. Gross. My first reaction, I remember like, oh, that ended as it began. It was so absurd. Just from a logical thinking person's standpoint, it was so absurd that it's like, oh, that obviously didn't as it began, no matter what timeline you use. And any kind of timeline. And then, and additionally, I realized that, it was gross is why I had that reaction. That's gross and unsustainable. Gross, unsustainable. So that's, you got to get around. It's done for. We're done for with this forever chemicals. You can lay all this, whatever, talking and worrying about stuff to rest. Right? Everything has to be reset. Everything has to be cleansed, reset, something. Okay? Because the forever chemicals, it's over with. Do you understand? Because of one company on Turtle Island, because of Dow on Turtle Island, the whole earth, all within the ice walls, is poisoned forever. 99.9% of all organisms have the forever chemicals in them. It's over with. What are we talking about? That's all we're trying to say. There's no going having your compartmentalized little life. We're going to have compartmental lives within the Industrial Revolution. And I will just go get in porn because I didn't know it. I've seen much smaller. I ain't trying to, I know I tried to run everybody off yesterday, but if anyone was listening, besides my soul, that's the point. But it's like, that's the thing. You don't need all that, extra length. And I'm just saying like a tan, no problem. And while I'm saying that absurdly, that's the point. I'm saying it absurdly to make the point is like, save one at a time. Because I didn't realize, that's when I never vowed to watch again. Even just watching free little clips. And it's weird because that stuff you buy a couple on VHS when you're young and it's like, that stuff is weird. You end up, it's like, it was weird back VHS days. I don't know. And then like they showed little clips and it looked like, oh, the girls liked it. So that's what like, oh, I mean, because we pride ourselves like, no, we can only watch the ones that seem like they actually, we can only watch the ones that seem like they want you to watch. It's like, yeah, those that want you to be watching them, it's like, that's okay. I can't watch. And any hint of those that don't want to are being abused. Like, yeah, we're going to vomit. Then we can't. I don't justify it. It's time killing. I mean, it's time killing. I mean, it's like, it's just watching anything else. I mean, not sitting there just, no, it's not. Since you're on that, the eth, you can't do nothing anyway. So you just, yeah. But I saw, whatever. I saw a list of those who killed. And I mean, when I realized, oh yeah, all these, I don't know what length it takes, but yeah, that's what a black preacher man told me a long time ago. Yeah, those, they're just just super hung, whatever, is a reptilian sign. There's a tail, and then I heard later on, like they don't have they don't have quite a blueprint, so that would explain. That's why you don't ignore the reptilian tail. Like, you're not making fun of someone's ear. If someone's like, sometimes it's huge ears. It's like, don't ignore it. That's your reptilian tail for you to know. Okay? And so if it's, I don't know what, if it's like 13, or I'd say even 12 to 13 or 14, that maybe is a sign. But I'm not saying it is. I don't know what to do, but I'm just saying that it would make sense, because where's that going? Okay. I'm just saying there's so much of that like, yeah, I could save one at a time. I mean, seriously, once you have, whether sexual energy is healing or not, but it's like that, and like, just one at a time. Once you have sex with a not reptilian, be like, hey, now I'm not going back to that 14-inch, demon over there. And I'm using that to be absurd. During our American Indian Holocaust, are you kidding? And no, I can't. I'm autistic. I can't do that. I mean, I'm saying I'd rather blow my brains out there. But but you get the legitimacy of it. That's legitimate. I mean, that's one thing about back when I was getting accurate messages for myself when I first got on TikTok. Yeah, that's why I'm so extreme on meth. Yeah, maybe I didn't realize others didn't have that extreme sexual energy on meth. That's why I was freaking out and siphoning whatever. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, so I could use that and go save, these little adorable ones in porn that like don't want to take 13 and 14 or even 12. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm making an absurd point to make a point. It's like, if we're going to have our compartmentalized little lives within the Industrial Revolution, then I'll just go do that. I get a tan. I have no body dysmorphic at all. I just don't know. It pale and no, if this kind of pale, red-headed paleness, no, it ain't happening. I'm being absurd, because it's like, thing is, some of us aren't allowed to be autistic, so maybe we get almost like what's that other thing? Rhetorics or whatever, that thing where you're like, you get kind of, because you never had it, because you weren't allowed. Though you don't know why I was 3.5, but it's probably a small children's book, but I don't know if I read the whole book back. It don't matter. She started reading a page and she handed it to me. I've read it. It don't matter, but you don't start bragging. It's just I'm trying to get a point. Like, well, then why went to the dumbest school possible? I mean, 2 of them. Like, school's just so small that they couldn't do me any benefit, much less the family or the community. Why was I squandered like that? That's all, because I never realized how I was squandered, because I never had an IQ test. Okay, so I wouldn't tell you anything. Anyways, that's the 149s and 151s that I knew. My God, the awareness level, it was either acting or complete oblivion with awareness. Okay, I'm just saying, especially the Alabama Indian. Oh my God, there ain't no way he could have been that unaware about reality. Yeah, we need to go see if he falls off the edge. Just take him on through the ice wall so he can see he's not going to fall off the edge. I don't know, what's wrong with that? The Internet Republic, Untouched Republic, that'd be a much better a place to be than here, right? Than inside the prison. So I'm not saying nothing negative there. But what I'm trying to say, it doesn't matter what else we talk about or do or social things. Everything, we're all poisoned with forever chemicals. And if Tartaria poisoned the water, then they weren't right either. So the thing is, Nos Confundum, Claudio Ocelli has where we're at, humanity. Once you get to the invisible dome projector, and we have a fragment of the dome that's still projecting that's still active, like it's almost alive, then everything else is gone. Everything. Dave, I mean, that's like everything has to be refiltered. Even Ike, I mean, because Ike doesn't filter everything through that. He's talking about, we're still talking about simulation, like life is a simulation. No, this prison is a simulation dependent on the invisible dome projector. That changes everything, okay? Your senses are simply limited. So you got limited senses for what is actually here, and then you got projections coming off the sky. So that does change everything. And simulation or not, water is life in the 3D. So like, you know, if Tartaria didn't invade on Turtle Island, Argentina, Alaska, without permission, and you know, if they weren't poisoning no water, and you know, maybe that was the way to retaliate against the deep. I mean, I'm not judging there, but it's up to you whether you decide that Tartaria is great. Of course, neither one was there. That's up to you. It might not be so much for the indigenous of the native Turtle Island. They might not, you know, we had trees coast to coast and didn't work for our food, so maybe we didn't need that. I don't know. But he's got it all, but just up for you to decide what kind, you know, not all creatures need palaces. Huh? And creatures that transition from physical to ethereal, you know, there's no evidence they need palaces at all. So there's just things assumed the human needs that the human might not need. Because we're not talking about surviving. No, if you can go from physical to ethereal, once you're ethereal, that's all, you know, you're out. Survival is in the 3D, is in the carbon. And digital cultures have forgotten how unnatural that is. So that's smiling that problem. It's like I cannot over-identify with that because I can't not concede to perpetual cycles getting nowhere and sacrifice children to that. And it's only since the last human reset was 1728. Yeah, you can see how that's been forgotten and erased. But so I just proposed a long time. You don't say things like, "Oh, this is a fact." Just like, "Hey, water's the only technology," because it's probably in the 3D. Water probably is the only technology. The only technology in the 3D is water. Am I right? If I'm not, that's the whole point. You go ahead and spit it out to get it over as quickly as possible. We don't understand what the sloth is with like getting things done. Okay, is Tartaria and buildings, is that it? Is that true technology? Or the 3D water the only technology? Water is the technology in the 3D.